for watching SLC TV, Salt Lake City's government access channel. I'm at the redeveloped Gateway in the Rio Grande neighborhood. For this week's episode of Capital City News, we'll hear from Deputy Chief Josh Scharman with the Salt Lake City Police Department about Operation Rio Grande. And our History Minute is about Bunjo the dog. Let's get started with our legislative update and look back.
We live in a state where many people own guns. These guns are used for hunting, recreation, collection, and protection. Unfortunately, one of the consequences of being a high gun ownership state is that Utah has a higher than the national average firearm suicide rate. In the last several years, suicide surpassed unintentional injuries to become the leading cause of death among children ages 10 to 17. Guns need to be stored safely to protect our children against these often impulsive suicides and accidental injuries. A child should never be able to get access to a gun. We have to put these guns away. We have to secure these guns. Remember, owning a gun is a right. Protecting children is a responsibility. Prevent youth suicide and accidental injury. Store your guns safely. Visit the Bulletproof Kids website at bulletproofkidsutah.org. It's up to all of us.
To address criminal activity in the Rio Grande neighborhood, Salt Lake City, in partnership with the county and the state, rolled out Operation Rio Grande. Deputy Chief Josh Scharman with the Salt Lake City Police Department shares their approach.
What you knew about Rio Grande and what you knew about the shelter area is no longer. The world has changed. And so those that actually maybe were resistant before, we're hoping that they'll be more susceptible or more accepting of accessing services now that it's a safe environment. Our partner agencies have come to the table and they've been able to provide us with additional resources that we haven't been able to have before. Department of Public Safety, which is the Highway Patrol and the State Bureau of Investigation, along with our friends at Unified Police Department and the Adult Probation and Parole, they've all come together to provide us more resources, more staffing to actually make a difference down here. This is the edge of our new safe zone that we're created here, and as you can see, it's actually the middle of 200 South in Rio Grande. And there's going to be a fence here with privacy slats in order to make sure that those inside there are able to engage those services in a safe environment, free from the threat of violence and the threat of being offered narcotics. We tried every strategy we had in a law enforcement aspect, and frankly, none of it really helped. It helped for a little while, but it would come back and it didn't really solve any problems. So what your police department has committed to is changing not only our tactic, but our entire style. Now, there are certainly people that still need criminal justice intervention, and they certainly need to be introduced into court, and they need to be held accountable for their criminal actions. But there are a lot of crimes that are occurring down here that are nuisance crimes. They're quality of life issues. They're things that affect the community. Maybe it's not a robbery, but it's certainly something that we want to change that behavior. And so what we've done over 20 years is we've tried to arrest our way out, and that just has not worked. So what we've created is a social service parallel to the law enforcement effort. And like I said, the law enforcement effort certainly isn't going to go away. It's still needed. There are people down here that are selling drugs, that are engaging in violence, and they're preying on our most vulnerable population. And we have a method for that, and that's arrest and incarceration in jail. But for those others, the other ones that are engaged in maybe the nuisance crimes, the situations, and they might be engaged in those behaviors due to mental illness, substance use disorder. It might be they just have behavioral issues, or they're just flat out have no other options. Those are the people that we're actively engaging on a parallel path to our law enforcement efforts. So Salt Lake City, the police department is actually, we have 8 social worker positions that are based out of our Community Connection Center, which you can see right across the street from me. And from there, there's also 3 crisis intervention officers, 2 host officers, and supervisors. And they are based simply just to help people that are experiencing those symptoms that we talked about, or those conditions, and trying to get the behavior to change. You know, as you can see, the population is really thinned out from where it was. I don't know if you saw it before, but 6 weeks ago, but it was people right next to each other. And like I said, the number of people that are accessing services hasn't actually decreased. So those that need services, that really are truly have an intent to access, are still receiving those. And we think that'll increase once this safe area is established. We love citizen engagement. When I go to the community council meetings and the community meetings, I love the fact when they're engaged, because that's where change actually happens. When the neighbors care and they involve themselves, whether it's through Neighborhood Watch or Volunteer Corps, or they just, as a community, they're watching each other's properties, that magnifies the police, and it helps us tremendously. So I'm excited when a community is engaged, and down here they are. The people that live here and work here, they care about this and they want it to be done better, and we love that. One of the resources that might be available that somebody might be interested in accessing is our ComStat report. Now, our ComStat is a list of all the Part 1 crimes, and Part 1 crimes are our most significant. Those are the ones that are measured as, they're the aggravated robberies and the auto thefts, the big ones. Now, those are always printed on our website, and you can find it at slcpd.com. You click on the ComStat report, and it'll be able to tell you in your council district, and specifically in this district, the last 7 days, the last 28 days, a year-to-date total, and a 3-year total, and a 5-year average total. And so you're able to actually track the numbers, just like our command staff does, to see if we're actually really moving that needle on criminal events or not.
The first Salt Lake City police dog was a fox terrier named Bunjo. Bunjo was found by the police in 1908, and some reports state the police adopted him after finding his original owner dead. Bunjo became something of a local celebrity, walking beats with police officers and making his way into the news for his exploits, whether it was chasing suspects or stray cats. Once in 1914, he was even locked up himself for stealing meat from a butcher. But in 1916, Bunjo passed away. His legacy with the police department would live on for a long time yet, though. Bunjo was taxidermied and appeared in police photos for many, many years after his passing. Where Bunjo is today, no one quite knows, but he left an indelible mark on the Salt Lake City Police Department.
Well, there you have it for another episode of Capital City News. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you join us next time. For SLC TV, I'm Poonam Kumar, signing off from the Gateway.